Hey, I'm Alex Southey, and you are listening to another episode of Your Worst Song. In this case, it's a bonus episode with Phillip Vonesh. He's a musician, he's a friend of mine, and in this case, he is coming on as a co-organizer of the Toronto Folk Festival. It began last year. This year's another go-around. They had some setbacks, as you'll hear about, but it's a really kind of amazing story about how they found their way back and what's going on this year. Speaking of which, in addition to the festival itself, which is later on in the summer, the day after this comes out, so this should be out this Thursday, the day after on the Friday, is a fundraiser. I'm playing it, Phil's playing it, other friendly faces of the podcast, some of whom have been guests, others you'll just kind of recognize if you're in and around Toronto live music. They're all playing. It's for a good cause. Cameron House back room on a Friday. What's better than that? So get into it. This is Your Worst Song, and I am Alex Southey.
All right, well, I always cut out the beginning, to be honest, because it's so awkward, but yeah. You were just in a meeting for Toronto Folk Festival, so tell me about that.
Okay, so we're just talking about a fundraising show that we have coming up on Friday at the Cameron House. We have 40 artists playing, one of them being Alex Southey. And
sorry,
so
I kind of put you on the spot immediately.
No, it's chill.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah, we have 40 artists playing in one night, so we're just trying to sort out the logistics of how that's going to go, because it's kind of crazy.
Yes, the last time you did a similar thing last year, and that had a lot of people, but not this many.
And so we did 34 last year, and I think I have 45 confirmed for Friday.
And so, was the meeting helpful? Have you figured out how you're going to do that many people?
Yeah, so I think it's everyone gets just under 7 minutes, including changeover, running straight through for 5 hours.
And this is backroom Cameron House.
Back room of the Cameron House.
Okay.
Queen and Spadina, yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
I'm just grinning about this is gonna be hot, temp wise.
It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be hot.
So the capacity of it was honestly maybe God bless the Cameron House for having us. Originally, it was supposed to be a drum taberna.
Oh, really?
And then there was a scheduling conflict on that happened with them. So then we kind of relatively last minute, moved it to the Cameron House. And they were very gracious in accommodating us, but I don't know that it is the perfect venue for the evening, in that
just because of size
there's 45 artists and the capacity is 70 or 75 or something.
Yeah.
So, but not all of the artists will stay for the whole night, and not everyone will be there at the same time.
And not everybody will bring friends, or some of the musicians would bring each other. If you know what I mean,
yeah, exactly.
We're friends with a lot of the same people that are performing.
Exactly. So it's going to be a big musician hang, and hopefully we'll raise some money for the festival, and enjoy and get to share some tunes. Absolutely.
And just to give some context, Phil and I have known each other for 7 years now, probably. 7 or 6. I was trying to remember. I was trying to remember before this.
For sure.
How did we meet each other? Do you remember?
So you cold. My recollection is you cold called me to play at concert series I was promoting called Acoustic Afternoons, which was at a coffee shop on Main Street.
Yes, you're right.
In Toronto. And
yes,
then,
you're right.
Yeah, so we connected there, and then we ended up doing that little tour to Montreal together.
Right, of course. Yeah, I remember that.
And that was winter of 2020, right before the pandemic.
Yep. Wow, that feels like a different year than the pandemic. I can't believe it's only a different month.
And then, so the crazy thing was, my first show that was canceled was a show I was doing with you at the Transac. That was my first gig that was canceled for the pandemic.
Good God. Yeah, what a time.
Yeah, crazy. And that was already 5 years ago.
I know.
It's
No,
like
that's
mental.
disturbing, to be honest. Yeah, it's time played tricks on us during the last 4 years.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's talk a little bit about last year when you were on the island and how that was.
Yeah, so um yeah, we've started the Toronto Folk Festival, and we had our first edition of it last year. We decided to call it the Picnic, presented by the Toronto Folk Festival. The
Because it
idea
was like
being
kind of, it
that,
was a smaller version, sort of
yeah,
building
exactly. Like
baby
we
steps
weren't
forward.
exactly. We weren't sure like how it would turn out and if it would be what we wanted to present as a festival.
Yeah.
But it, honestly, like in spite of like inclement weather, like it turned out pretty good. Like we had like all of the shows happened. We had to delay for lightning a few times. But the
That's
vibes were, I mean, you were there. The vibes were great.
The vibes were great.
Um,
The idea that we had to stop for lightning a few times makes it seem more dour than it was. It was like a passing thing,
yeah,
in my opinion, but for the most part, it was a very like it had a sort of family festival feel to it, which was a really nice vibe for a festival trying to get off the ground.
yeah, exactly. It was like very small community festival. So this year we're expanding from 1 day to 2 days. So it's going to be August 23rd, 24th. Programming running from I think the first show starts at 11:30 in the morning, and the last show starts at 7 in the evening.
Okay,
So
sweet.
like yeah, pretty good all day programming. I think that we'll have about 20 musical artists and maybe four different like traditional dance artists.
Okay,
Two
sweet.
confirmed. I'm still hoping to confirm two more traditional dance artists.
Nice, nice. Damn. Yeah, you've got a lot going on. And so maybe do you want to speak about the other people who are on the team with you?
Sure, yeah. So my like partner in founding it is a guy named Stephen James Orr. He plays in a bunch of different bands. He plays with like Pater and Holly Clausius, Lily Dipper, Paolo Sofia, sort of yeah, side
So
player with a
many.
lot of people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you've probably seen him on, if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably seen him on a stage.
That's really good. That's very true.
Um, but yeah, so him and I, honestly, it started via like an Instagram story. He was like, "Does anyone want to start a festival?" I was like, "Yes, I've always wanted to start a festival." So now here we are.
But it makes sense
Um,
because I feel like you're both extremely. This is going to sound stupid. I was going to say social people. I guess what I mean is you're both
no, but
like,
totally,
but
like,
like a social and community oriented. You like making people meet and bringing people together and
yeah,
stuff. Like
exactly,
that's why
yeah,
Steven loves playing in all these different bands, and you're on the more social media end of things.
yeah. I would say that yeah, community is like foundational in like what we're trying to accomplish,
Yeah,
and I think in like the ethos that we're approaching it with.
definitely, definitely.
Um,
Why don't we give people more context for you? Like you and I already talked about this, Phil, but obviously you're gonna have your own episode, but maybe just a little bit of context. Like, I, where are you right now? Out of curiosity.
I'm in my apartment. And my
Okay,
roommate's
I just
coughing
heard
in
a
the back.
cough, and I was
Sorry.
thinking, no,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care. Ambiance. Uh, yeah, maybe talk. I don't even really know how you got. I assume it's like everybody else. You've been playing, an instrument since you were in your early teens, and then got into it. But you're from Toronto, right? Like downtown
Yeah, yeah.
Toronto.
I grew up in the east end of Toronto, like Main and Danforth area, Upper Beaches.
Mm-hmm.
My dad uh played music, but kind of had given it up by the time I came along.
Oh, okay. I don't
But
think I
he
knew
was
that.
yeah, he was a sound guy and guitarist.
Cool.
He
Around
actually went to
Toronto,
Berkeley.
presumably.
Like yeah, Southern Ontario.
Okay.
He's from Chicago, but he
Hmm.
grew up in London, Ontario, a little
Oh,
bit.
nice.
And
Do you
then
have dual
my mom's
citizenship?
no, if only they didn't get it
Oh.
for me.
Oh, too bad. Yeah, if
Yeah,
only. Yeah, yeah.
I know, right?
Uh, well, they
And
didn't know
I
you were
guess
going to be a touring. Yeah.
context for people listening, it's far easier to tour in the United States if you have dual citizenship.
Yeah, I mean,
And
especially now, who the
political
hell
climate
knows?
aside,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it
And so
would it
your
would
mom?
be useful. My mom, yeah, is from Scarborough. grew up just like she's a huge fan of music.
It seems that way. Like
So
even right now, as someone who's met her just in passing a few times, like she'll sometimes buy my stuff on Bandcamp. I'm like, you're the nicest,
yeah,
most supportive
exactly. Like
person ever.
huge, honestly, and like basically like every Bandcamp Friday, she'll go through like my friends and just like buy someone's like
It's
album.
amazing.
Just
Yeah,
like very much trying to support like grassroots music.
it's cool.
Yeah, no,
Cool.
she's very cool.
She must be pretty
She's a
excited to hear about the Toronto Folk Festival stuff, right?
Yeah, so she actually couldn't make it last year. We had like a
Mm.
family cottage trip. Like it was already booked, and we had to move the festival dates around. Oh my God, because like our original venue burnt down, and then
You want to talk about that? That's a
uh,
story.
oh my God. So the original like premise for the festival was sort of almost like a North by Northeast on the island. So it was gonna take place at the Island Cafe, uh, the Wards Island Association Clubhouse, which was like the building that burnt down.
Yeah.
It was like the community clubhouse. I think the capacity was like 300 people. That was going to be our main stage. And then the Riviera, which is another restaurant on Wards Island, and the Upper Deck, which is a restaurant down on Center Island at the marina. But the
Yeah, so
idea
it would
being
have
that
been
like
like different spots and people go and mill
exactly, yeah.
around. Yeah.
So like over the course of the day, all of the smaller venues would have shows, and then in the evening, everyone would congregate at the Wards Island Association. Was going to be the idea. So we had all the grants written and all this stuff, and then on it was on St. Patrick's Day. I'll never forget. Woke up to the news that in the early morning, the Island Cafe and the Wards Island Association had closed down, and that was like specifically upsetting for me because I've actually worked at the Island Cafe since 2019,
Yeah, you have a bunch of
and
history
it's
there.
been yeah huge. And it led to me like living on the island, and like my roommate is the chef at the Island Cafe. I have so many friends like from there. It's just been like a huge piece of my life, and then it was all gone in a night.
Well, they were able to reconstruct or not reconstruct it, but like they got back to it and started getting the cafe going again and so on, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it is reopened, and they will be. Last year it opened as like a cafe and bar, and now they're
Yeah.
going to reopen this year as a. They're bringing back live music. Actually, they're bringing back live music and a bar.
Oh, okay, because that's where I was going. Like, obviously, the fire, very understandably, sets back the plan a few years. But theoretically, could you see it growing to the point that you actually do achieve the sort of North by Northeast thing that you had in your head for the first year?
Well, honestly, like that was a template that we were looking at because it just seemed more like logistically feasible
Yeah.
because like all the venues had built-in PAs
Right.
and stuff like
Right.
that. But
Right.
really what we presented last year is way more in line with what I always wanted it to be. I just like
Presented last year, as in what you did on the island, the what we were just
exactly,
talking
yeah.
about. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
With it just being like an outdoor like presenting as an outdoor folk festival.
Yes.
Though I do like the idea of like a North by on the island. I just don't think it's specifically what I want to do.
That's no, but
Or
that's
I don't know,
interesting.
not
Like,
right now.
and who knows if you would have even realized, like, let's say everything went 100% well, it was a North by Northeast style thing. Maybe now, and a year later, you'd be sitting here going, we pulled it off how I wanted, and I realized it's actually not what I like. And in this case, it's the opposite. You didn't get to pull that off, and now you realize maybe this is what you do like. You just get more
Yeah, exactly.
family oriented outside.
Yeah,
Have you talked a little bit
exactly.
about
No,
sponsors or anything for the festival? Are there sponsors?
not yet.
No.
If you are listening to this and have some money to throw around, boy, do I
Yeah.
have an offer for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Come
sure.
and
I'm sure. Maybe. Who
hit
knows?
hit me up.
Yeah. Let Philip know.
Everything is flexible and can tailor any sort of sponsorship package to what you want to do.
Yeah. Write a blank
Um,
check and make it out to Cash, and then hand it
yeah,
to
exactly.
Phil. Yeah.
No, so we had a few community sponsors last year. Like that, the Island Cafe was really generous in lending us some tents and chairs and tables. We had Agenda Coffee on College.
Hmm.
Were really gracious. They were our first sponsor,
Which
and
was a
they gave
recent
us
place that. Sorry to cut you off. You did a little. There was a little performance there that fed into
yeah,
this,
we
right?
did a little fundraiser on the spring equinox at
Yes,
Agenda. Um, Featuring Jer and June the Destroyer.
that was awesome.
Um, yeah, it was a really nice night. Anyway, it's a great coffee shop, and they were one of our first sponsors. And then also the Upper Deck, which is the marina bar down on Center Island, were also a sponsor. So
Nice.
shout
And
out
so
to all of them.
a shout out to them. That's great that they were able to help make the first one happen. And unless you've deeply somehow severed relationships, hopefully they'll be hopefully they'll be interested. I mean, last time was a success despite the thunder and lightning, and so why wouldn't this one be?
Exactly.
It's more central downtown. There's probably going to be more people. Like, I mean, inevitably there will be walk-in. I mean, doing air quotes, walk-in traffic in some ways, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
No.
hopefully. So, well, I mean, yeah, probably. If the weather's nice, there will be lots of people walking
I just
by.
mean that is a possibility. Whereas before, even if you just wanted to go, it would be like a boat ride all the way over to the island. Now, if people just want
Oh,
to hang out, go to Cameron House.
just to. Oh, I see. Okay, so the Cameron House is this Friday, but that's just
Sorry, yes.
a
Sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. Sorry.
a fundraiser for the festival, which will still be a boat right away.
Yes, sorry. Yeah,
No, it's all good.
yeah. All right. Whoops.
Yes.
Um,
So, yeah, Cameron House is the fundraiser this Friday, May 23rd, and then the festival itself will be
Still,
August 23rd, 24th.
which is great that it's a boat ride away. I just mean it's nice for this fundraiser because we were talking about the Agenda Cafe. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, it's all good, all good.
Look, all right,
Um,
I messed up. I had an Arizona iced tea for the first time in years. They're huge. They're like the size of a forearm.
yeah, they are big, eh? It's a
Yeah, I
weapon.
didn't really. It's a weapon and makes it an even greater deal. They don't sponsor this podcast, but
Not yet. Or the
not yet.
festival, but, cut to next year.
Exactly. We'll have an Arizona stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, is there anything? Maybe you should tell me, like pie in the sky. What does the eventual perfect festival look like for you?
Oh man, yeah, the perfect festival. So I grew up going to the Mariposa Folk Festival,
Hmm.
and Mariposa is really cool. It has, I think, 11 stages altogether, including like one big main stage. So it's really neat throughout the day. You can go to like kind of wander the park and go to all of these different stages. It's up in Aurelia, right on the shores of Lake Couchiching in Tud Hope Park, first weekend after Canada Day. So midsummer festival, maybe even early summer, I guess. But you're walking through the park and you're going to all these different stages, and you could see like Kathleen Edwards, Rebecca Hawker, and Phillip Vonesh, Alex Southey, all on the same stage, kind of like riffing off each other, sharing songs, and then you do that kind of thing all throughout the day, and then you go to the main stage, and there's Kathleen Edwards with her full band, and there's Serena Ryder, and this year Waxahachie's playing. So I
Oh, that's
guess
cool.
that's sort of the North Star. If we could do something like that on the island, and I think if it got to that scale, we would have to probably move it down to Olympic Island or something like that, because our
Just
current
size
festival
wise.
site is quite small. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and that would be, the community has been really gracious with us and supported us. Um, but to present something bigger like that, I think we would probably alienate ourselves.
Yeah. Fair enough. Is there anything you wanna? Is there anything we haven't talked about that you like want to promote about the festival or say anything? Again,
I
this
guess
will be
like
out.
maybe
This
I
will
would
be out.
just
I was just gonna say this will be out Thursday. The next day is so the day after you're listening to this is when the fundraiser is that we began this conversation talking about.
yeah. So I would maybe just like reiterate that the fundraiser is Friday. I guess if you're listening to this, it is tomorrow.
Hmm.
Um, and so entry is by donation. Hopefully like a $20 minimum donation, but or not minimum, I guess suggested. suggested donation,
sure.
but we're happy to take more or less depending on your budget. And we're offering free entry to folks with a pass for the summer festival. So you can get an early bird pass right now for like $40 plus tax. It's like $43.95 or something.
Wow.
And
where can they get that? At the website, through your link?
You can find that at TorontoFolkFestival.com, or it's linked from Toronto Folk Festival on Instagram.
I'll link it in the description for this chat too.
And it is you should be able to look it up on Eventbrite also.
Okay, amazing. So it's in difference. Even if maybe you missed this conversation, you might still see it on Eventbrite itself.
Yeah, 100%.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
And
great.
that's going until, so there are 100 of those tickets available. So I guess it'll probably be like June 1st or the first 100 tickets at the early bird price.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, good to know. All right, that's a good little teaser, I hope, for people about the festival, and I hope people show up tomorrow, air quotes, and for the festival in general. It looks like you want to say something else. Anything else?
I was just like leaning in. I was gonna say you can also find the full lineup of I think 44 of the artists are listed on the poster, and we have a surprise guest as well.
Awesome. Yeah. The poster.
But you can.
It's on Phil's page. It's on the Toronto Folk Festival page. I think I'm tagged in it.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for sharing it with the podcast as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on, Phil.